Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday. Hope this Sunday finds you well. Hope you remember to turn your clocks back. I mean, most of us have devices that do it automatically, but if you have a microwave, go turn your clock back because it didn't do it itself. Unless you got a smart microwave. Are those a thing? I don't know. Are there smart microwaves? They're smart everything else. I mean, smart refrigerators, smart washers, smart dryers, smart dishwashers. So there should be smart microwaves. If they were really smart, they wouldn't beep every time I hit a damn button. Anyway, make sure you set your clocks back if you haven't already. If you didn't, you're already an hour ahead of yourself. So you probably showed up an hour early for work if you were working this morning. If not, you woke up and had no idea what the hell time it was, like I did. Like I needed any help. I just got back from vacation yesterday. I did a whirlwind of a vacation all the way up to Cleveland and back. Um, Man, it was one hell of a time. Let me just put it that way. I'm doing this unedited. I'm not putting up my tripod. I'm just holding my phone because, like I said, I just woke up. I wasn't even sure what time it was. And I just don't feel like being professional right now. So we're just going to do a handheld thing and hope for the best. Um, Again, I left for Cleveland. Today's Sunday. I left not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was awake for about 22 hours. It was an interesting flight up there. I mean, it was a good flight, but it's interesting getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and flying back home. I mean, what used to be home anyway. Sorry, I'm still trying to put my thoughts together. It's way too early for this shit, to be honest, but I figure that's the best way to do it, right? Unprepared, unfiltered, whatever. Not unfiltered. These are filtered, which I shouldn't be smoking these either. But again, whatever. Anyway, early Thursday morning, area dropped me off at the airport right here in Raleigh. Got two flights, one to Charlotte, which I know how airlines work for the most part, but it will always confuse me that I have to fly south to fly north. I had to get a flight to Charlotte to get a connecting flight up to Cleveland. If you're confused by that, welcome to the club. What actually happens is certain airlines don't have direct flights from certain airports, so you got to go to where they have a flight that goes to where you're going. So sometimes you have to take the extra flight, which is what I did. So I went to Charlotte, and then I caught a shot from Charlotte all the way back up to Cleveland. And man, landing in Cleveland, I've been down here for over 8 years, going on 9 now. Landing in Cleveland is always an experience because I'm looking out the window as we're coming down and I'm seeing all these things that I haven't seen in God knows how long. And it's a beautiful sight. I may prefer being down here, but I'll always miss Ohio. So it was nice touching down at Cleveland Hopkins and seeing all the stuff that I normally would have seen every damn day and taken for granted on my way down. So I got to stay with my cousin and my aunt and the second generation of cousins. Oh, let me rephrase that. My cousins. So that would be my cousin and his wife. And then their kids, which would be generation two. So second cousins. And my aunt, who's my aunt. She's just, generation one. She's a generation before me. However you want to put it. But I got to stay with them. They very graciously flew me up, put me up the whole time I was there, and I mean, it was an experience, man. We were all the way out past Chardon, and it was quiet. For the first time in, like, I don't know, probably last year was the last time I had that much quiet in my life. Because as any of you that have been paying attention know, the apartment building that I live in is noisy as hell for multiple reasons. Oh, coffee. I love you, coffee. So being out a little past Chardon, I think the The actual town name is Hamden, something like that. Again, my brain's not in gear, so don't fault me for that. But my cousin's got his own place out there. My aunt's right across the driveway from him. And man, was it quiet out there at night. It was beautiful. No neighbor, well, they've got neighbors, but no neighbors making a whole lot of noise at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody stomping over my head. Nobody slamming doors. Walked out about 2 o'clock in the morning to have a cigarette. And the only noise I heard were coyotes that were getting closer. So that was my cue to put the cigarette out and go back inside. But beautiful area, beautiful house, beautiful people. Me and my cousin went out to Cedar Point Thursday night, roamed around there, and then we were supposed to spend the day at Cedar Point on Friday. But when we woke up, it was about 47 degrees, windy, and kind of wet. And with my head injury from last year, I was also not sure if I was going to be able to ride anything or if I should ride it. Should have ridden. There we go, English. If I should have been riding anything, I should have probably checked with a doctor before I even went up, but that's my fault. But we did get to roam around Cedar Point, which again is another part of my history. I've worked there for 2 different seasons in 2 different departments, so it was nice being back there as well. Seeing the whole Halloween thing go off again. I actually got to help with that the last season I worked in 2007. I actually helped them put some of their floats and some of their decorations and everything that they transitioned for Halloween. I got to be part of that. So it was cool to be on the other side of it and see everything that they did. Cedar Point, unfortunately, will not be Cedar Point, or at least the same Cedar Point after this year. Six Flags and Cedar Point had some kind of merger, so there's really no telling what it's going to look like next year, which is a big part of the reason that we went. I wanted to see it one more time before it was no longer what I grew up on. So, as corny as it sounds, with this time of year, rest in peace, Cedar Point. That's all I'm going to say there. And then we move on to one of the big reasons that I actually flew up, which was a Halloween party at my buddy Mike, my buddies. I'm really bad at this grammar thing this morning. My friends, Mike, Angie, and their kids, all the way out in Talmadge, they had a Halloween party. And that was one of the main reasons I flew up. Believe it or not. Yep, flew all the way up to Ohio for a Halloween party. Figure that one out. So we had ourselves a Halloween party. Had ourselves a little shindig. Got to see the kids who are amazingly grown up now. I disappeared for about 8 years, and it's amazing what 8 years will do when you're not there and come back. I mean, these kids are all grown adults now. Damien's the last one that's going to graduate this year. Wow. I mean, other than last year when I came up for Dan's funeral, Damien was, I don't know, 3/4 of my size the last time I saw him. And then I show up last year and he's obviously taller than me. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort. I'm not really a big guy. But I mean, Damien's a full-grown adult. Lynn's grown up and married. Jade's an adult. Autumn's an adult. They're all adults. It's crazy, man. Like, seeing them all from how I remember them and then seeing them how they are now, it blows my mind. It really does. So we had ourselves a little shindig out in Talmadge, Ohio. Had a bunch of people over, most of whom I didn't know. Got to see Kevin, who is another friend of mine's brother. Kevin Young, it was good to see you, brother. I need to add you on Facebook. I don't know why I don't have you already. Got to meet a whole bunch of people I didn't know. Got to sit around and BS around a fire. Got to watch people devour 2 sheet pizzas. Got to hang out with Mike, Angie, and the kids. It was a good time. Not gonna lie at all. Got to light up some fireworks too. Amazing we didn't get the cops called. So Mike, Angie, Lynn, Autumn, Damien, Jade, it was good to see you all. Thank you very much for the party. Thanks for putting me up for the night. It was fantastic. I had a really good time. It's always great to see you all. Thanks for giving me a reason to come back up. And fortunately, this year it was a better reason. Then it was back over to see the cousins and my aunt and the rundown to Halloween. Pictures coming for that as well. My cousin Michael was a Power Ranger. The second generation of cousins were both variations of the Scream Ghost. So there'll be pictures of that too. I already posted those pictures, but I'll post them again just so you can see them. And then the clock kept ticking. And we did so much over the course of the week. I can't fit it all in one video without boring the hell out of you. But we did a lot. Like, it was go, go, go. And in the middle of all that, I had a business meeting and pretty much a makeshift lunch, date, whatever, with my friend Aaron. It was good to see Aaron as well. More news coming on that as soon as I get some things organized. But Aaron, it was good to see you, man. And like I told you, and I've told everybody, as soon as you make the snow go away, I'll be back up to hang out. Promise. But yeah, Halloween, pumpkin carving, people dressing up. Had a good week, man. Felt like it was really busy for a vacation, but I mean, there's one thing my family knows how to do. It's keep me entertained. And also keep me full of coffee. And I drank more coffee this past week than I think I've had in the past month. So good times there, absolutely. And then closing out the week, because again, I don't want to bore you with all the details. But closing out the week, I got to go out to see my sister and her family, Jennifer, Cody, Sean, and Lucas. I got to meet a whole bunch of dogs. Oh, yeah. Can't leave the dogs at my cousin's place out. I'll put pictures up of that as well. But my three homies for the week, Penny, Paisley, and Confetti. I'll put those pictures up. Then I got to meet all my sister's dogs. There's a wiener dog race. She's got 4 of them at her house. It was the funniest damn thing, y'all. Like, the first time they let them all out at the same time while I was there. I think it's a Gary Larson, the guy that does The Far Side, single panel comic. Yeah, I'm old. Shut up. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a comic that he did that was like the running of the wiener dogs, or Wiener Dog Olympics, or a Wiener Dog Marathon. I don't remember exactly what the context of it was, but when I saw those dogs go running for the back door, I couldn't help but laugh. It's the funniest damn thing to see 4 wiener dogs go running for the back door. It's the craziest marathon you'll ever see. So I got to meet all the dogs. I got to see both my nephews, and I got to get the cream out of the refrigerator because I'm making myself another cup of coffee to keep myself going, wake myself up, however you want to look at it. Because technically, you know what? I'm up early. It's only 10:22 if you don't account for the time change. Ugh. Give me a second. We're getting all this together. But got to see Jennifer and Cody. Got to see Sean and Lucas. Got to meet the international students that my sister is, my sister and her family. I keep doing that, man. Again, my grammar's not the greatest right now because I'm still freshly awake. But for anybody that doesn't know, my sister and her family, this is their second year hosting exchange students. So I got to meet them. Really cool people, man. And really cool concept that I never would have guessed in a million years that somebody in my family would get involved in, but I'm really proud of my sister. She's got 4 international students staying at her house. They're basically part of the family until they go home. You got people from Spain, Germany, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Netherlands. And there's one more country I'm missing, but she's got people from like all over Europe. It's pretty cool. And I admire the fact that she's able to do that. It's a pretty awesome thing. Speaking of my sister, I actually would have been up a little bit earlier, but because of Hurricane Milton, their vacation plans got changed, so they ended up leaving a week later than they were supposed to, which I delayed my trip and stretched it out a little bit so I could see them. I wish I could have spent more time up there to see them a little bit longer, but roll the dice and see what happens, and sometimes it doesn't come up in your favor. So I did get to see them. I did get to meet the students staying there. I got to see my nephews. Didn't really get to see the rest of the family. Madison, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry things didn't work out. It just, our schedules clashed all week long. So we'll figure that out. I'll get to see you sometime soon, I promise. I'm just not coming up there while there's snow on the ground. Sorry. Not going to happen. But again, that pretty much wraps up the week. Beautiful flight back home, both flights. I had to fly to Philly to catch another connecting flight back to Raleigh. 2-hour layover in Philly. As always, Philly is hit and miss when it comes to the people. Some of the people were great. Some of the people, if you'll excuse my language, were absolute assholes. But that's Philly for you. Kind of like Cleveland. The flight, I've got video of, I've got pictures of. I'll put those up in in the comments. And that's about it, man. I got home yesterday. My baggage is still somewhere in Philly due to a mix-up, miscommunication, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just closed. They'll get here eventually. But other than that, man, I had a beautiful flight home. 2 beautiful flights home. I had a beautiful time while I was there. There were some bumps in the road along the way, but, you know, you can't go a full week at full speed without some things being a little bit rough. But none of that's important. I got to see some really important people. I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. Becca, you're in that list too. I don't want you to feel left out. It was great seeing you as well. And next time I'm up, we'll make better plans so we can hang out and go get into trouble together or stay out of trouble together. To anybody I didn't get to see while I was up there, this was primarily a family trip for me. Mike, Angie, and their entire family, I honestly consider them an extension of my family, so they were included in that. It was great to see you all. To my Aunt Kim, to Michael, to Lara, for doing everything they did to make this possible. Thank you so much. I think that's about it. The rest of it's going to be in pictures in the comments. And I don't know what else to say other than thank you. I love you all. And I'll be back up again as soon as I can make it happen, make it realistic, and make it comfortable, because I have no desire to be up there in the middle of winter. Sorry, y'all. You can keep the snow. I'm going to stay down here. Even when it gets cold down here, it doesn't really snow, so I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. I hate the snow. Always have, always will. Unless I'm skiing, there's no point in me being anywhere near snow. So, y'all keep your weather up there. Y'all keep your heads up during the winter. Y'all have a fantastic November. I'm sure I will talk to everybody multiple times in between now and then. But one more time, to everybody that helped make my week happen, thank you so very much. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful Sunday. And I'll see y'all again soon. Now get the hell off my lawn.